Hampton Roads is a large metropolitan region in southeastern Virginia that is home to almost 2 million people. One of the area's biggest cities, Norfolk, is located just a 2-hour drive from Richmond. Due to global climate change, Norfolk is experiencing a dramatic rate of sea level rise. In fact, the city currently has the highest annual sea level rise rate on the east coast of the U.S. Norfolk is critical to the United States' national security, as it is home to the largest naval base in the world, housing 17.7 kilometers of pier and wharf space and about 75 ships. If sea levels continue to rise without proper precautions in place, they will displace Norfolk residents, cause catastrophic damage to the city's infrastructure, and result in many areas becoming uninhabitable. A solution to this issue would be aligned with Goal 11 of the UN SDGs, which focuses on the development of sustainable cities. In particular, it is important to focus on disaster risk reduction and the formation of equitable infrastructure when examining this problem.
Sea level rise affects many places throughout the world. Norfolk's rate of sea level rise is 5.6 millimeters per year, which is higher than the rate of sea level rise in Venice, a city in Italy known for its rising waters. It also has one of the highest rates of sea level rise in the United States, second only to New Orleans, which has experienced catastrophic flooding from hurricanes. Norfolk is sinking twice as fast as the sea level is rising, making the problem even more critical for the 20% of Virginians who live in the affected area.
Sea level rise is caused by global warming, a phenomenon correlated with greenhouse gas emissions. These emissions raise global temperatures and melt polar ice sheets, increasing the volume of water in our oceans. This impacts the Hampton Roads region by raising the baseline water level.
We asked local meteorologist Andrew Frieden to explain melting glaciers and land subsidence.
There was a whole bunch of ice sitting on North America, the tectonic plate that we are on here in Eastern Virginia. And that ice went down to the middle of Pennsylvania. And so what that did was, and I use my hands here, so this is where the glacier is, and here's where Virginia is. We didn't have a weight of hundreds of feet of ice sitting on top of us. So we very slowly got lifted a little bit. You have all this weight and the tectonic plates floating on magma, right? Liquid rock, molten lava, basically. So you have this going on when the glacier was there. Now the glaciers melted as the climate warmed. And so now what's happening is that we're rebounding back to normal.
Since much of the city is built on low-lying areas, it is extremely vulnerable to flooding. The problem is exacerbated by land subsidence. Nuisance flooding and storm surges from hurricanes are often the most destructive short-term forms of sea level rise. This happens when strong hurricane winds push ocean water towards the shore, causing a localized, dangerous, sudden rise in water levels. With intensity and frequency of hurricanes and baseline water level all increasing, the severity of flooding in Norfolk will continue to worsen.
The sea level rises at an exponential rate, so the longer this problem persists, the worse the impact will become year by year. In a slow rise, best case scenario, 100 years from now, the sea level is expected to rise by 1 meter. In a fast rise scenario, the sea level is expected to rise by the same amount in under 35 years. And in 100 years, the sea level is expected to rise by more than 3 meters. 40 years after that, by 2160, the sea level is expected to have increased by another 2 meters. By this time, almost all of Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Portsmouth, and Hampton would be underwater. This rise would make 800,000 homes uninhabitable and displace more than 2 million Virginians, not to mention the millions more that would be forced out of their homes and jobs due to extreme flood risks, leaving millions of Virginians without a job or a home to raise their families.
Our grandchildren won't see the same Virginia shoreline that we do. Even before then, there will soon be no incentive for new construction or home ownership. For example, Tidewater Gardens, a public housing development, is constructed on a flood-prone area. The majority of public housing developments in the United States were built in the mid-1900s for low-income Black Americans during segregation. These developments are subsidized housing built to provide affordable homes for people below the poverty line. The city of Norfolk plans to demolish this neighborhood, displacing the 4,200 people living there. It will be difficult for these disabled, elderly, and low-income residents to find new housing, as affordable housing is scarce. Where will they go when their homes are gone?
What may start as minor to moderate economic costs will eventually cause severe economic slowdown, and it'll be small family-owned businesses that are affected the most. It may even get to a point where nearly no industries will want to invest in the Hampton Roads area due to the risk of flooding. The Norfolk Naval Station employs 111,000 individuals, fueling the economy of the region and the United States as a whole. If the sea level rises half a meter, it would cost each household in the Hampton Roads area an estimated $1,760 annually. Most, if not all, businesses located along the coast will be negatively impacted by sea level rise due to increased severity of flooding. It would cost up to $387 billion to rebuild the Norfolk Naval Base if it was destroyed by a storm surge or a hurricane. This is more than the annual GDP of places like Greece, Hong Kong, and Finland.